Welcome to New Orleans, Louisiana, where the food is rich and the culture is even richer. Join us as we explore one of our favorite cities in the entire United States, take in tons of jazz music, of course, eat loads of gumbo and pralines, explore both the French Quarter and other local neighborhoods such as Tremé and the Garden District, and stumble upon a Star Wars themed Mardi Gras parade. There's truly nowhere in the world quite like New Orleans. Of course, we had to kick the trip off with a visit to one of New Orleans' most iconic institutions, Café du Monde. So we're starting with one of the most famous of the New Orleans dishes. It is a café au lait, which is basically a coffee with milk, and the coffee here has chicory in it. Basically just a really strong coffee with steamed milk, and then the creme de la creme, what everybody comes to New Orleans for, I think, are the beignets, which are basically these fried donuts that have tons and tons of heaps of powdered sugar on it. So the combination here of the two, how can you go wrong with this? Just gonna go for it.
As you can tell, we absolutely demolished these beignets. This location has a drive-thru, which you would have to be a very brave person to order beignets covered in powdered sugar to eat in your car.
Of course, we didn't waste any time getting another Louisiana staple, the Muffalettas sandwich, over at Pontchartrain Po' Boys.
So many olives, I love it. Realistically, we ate Nashville hot chicken on the way here and then beignets this morning, so we're also trying to get some vegetables in because that's a lot of fried food. Phil just went into a praline shop that literally just doesn't, you can't see through it at all. It's just covered with curtains. It has all these homemade signs everywhere and it says it's closed, but the door opened and it looks like all the lights are off. And they let Phil in. He didn't like motion for me to come with him or anything. He was just gonna go check the hours because online it said it was open. Well, I'll keep you posted on if Phil gets kidnapped at a praline shop. Here he comes.
I just met Emma herself, and she was the absolute sweetest woman who is so excited about these pralines she's been making.
Look how massive this thing is. It is literally the size of my face. Pralines are honestly my favorite New Orleans thing, which is why we're starting with them today, because we're also going to get them like basically every other day on this trip. The goal is to try all of the big ones. This one's in Slidell, so it's still on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain. Pralines are so good. This one has a really different flavor than a lot of the others, but it's really good. I'm trying to like place what that extra flavor is. Oh my gosh, she's so cool. I love her. Aww. I went in because Phil told me that Miss Emma was the coolest, and so I just went in and told her that I loved her praline, and she gave me one. She is just the nicest woman. I mean, just one of those people that like makes your day as soon as you meet them. After a long day of driving, we decided to just spend the rest of the day at Fontainebleau State Park across Lake Pontchartrain where we were staying before gearing up for our first full day in New Orleans. In the morning, we headed to Algiers Point where we parked our car, grabbed a cup of coffee, and then caught the ferry across directly to the French Quarter. This process was super seamless, and the Jazzy Pass, which gave us full access to public transportation for the day, was only $3 per person, much cheaper than parking, and it gave us beautiful views across the river of the city. My hair is wild. We wasted no time heading directly to Tremé, which is actually the nation's oldest African-American neighborhood, in search of one thing: delicious Creole food.
Welcome to Jazzy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Oh man, Bill, we're not ready. So bad. I feel like I take pizzas every day. Okay, here's the deal. Last night we were talking about how it didn't really matter about recommending like a specific place in New Orleans because everything is so good everywhere you go. And then we had Little Dizzy's and it was like the best gumbo and best po' boy I've ever had. So we kind of threw that out the water. I still firmly believe you can go anywhere and get delicious food in New Orleans, but this place?
Yeah. Definitely a popular spot. Seems like a local spot and everybody loves it. There was even a film crew here.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely that good. Definitely worthwhile.
Absolutely heavenly, like everything. And they're so sweet and kind in there. Little Dizzy's, total recommendation.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for sure.
Spoiler alert, we had to return to Little Dizzy's before we left NOLA. So good. Oh my gosh. Today's one of those days where we had like a ton of stuff planned, but as you're walking around, you find somewhere that looks super cool. So Calas Cafe looks so cool and the chef is outside explaining everything. Apparently this is a new to us type of food in New Orleans that we didn't even know we need to try, but now we're gonna go try it.
Sometimes it's the vibes of a place that draw you in, but you stay for the food. We tried these rice fritters that we absolutely loved. They serve them dusted with powdered sugar, similar to beignets, but they're actually made with rice instead. We were so excited to hear from the owner, Brandon, about the history of this amazing dish.
Hi guys, we are here today at Calas Cafe. We're preserving the heritage known as Calas. It looks like our city's beloved beignets. My favorite thing to tell everyone is it's absolutely not. It is made with cooked rice. Calas represents the story of enslaved West Africans who made that journey to New Orleans in the 1800s as a part of the transatlantic enslavement experience. They were known as Calas women and men who sold the dish on the streets of New Orleans as a popular street food of the time. The money that they earned from the sales of Calas, they used that money to purchase their freedom here in New Orleans from the Spanish through a process known as manumission. It's been largely a lost piece of New Orleans food heritage. We're doing the great work of preserving, acknowledgement, and shining a spotlight on it. When you're visiting New Orleans, please stop into Calas Cafe, and we'd love to see you and share the historic significance of what we do. Wow.
Honestly, this city is just the coolest. Like, I firmly believe that New Orleans is one of those places, if you are doing US travel, you just need to come here. It's got so much rich culture. The people are so cool. And the food, like the food speaks for itself. So if you haven't visited New Orleans, what's wrong with you? After leaving Tremé, we decided to do something that's been on our New Orleans list for a while, the Sazerac House. This free 3-story museum tells you all about the history of New Orleans' classic cocktail, as well as the whiskey and bitters that go into it. Okay, I'm learning how to properly taste bitters here. Apparently, you put a few drops on the back of your hand, and then you lick it on the back of your tongue to the front. So now you know how to try bitters. Okay, maybe don't follow me for advice on tasting bitters, but we are two Kentuckians, so we had a lot of fun learning all about the whiskey that goes into the Sazerac, and of course seeing a few familiar names. Must be made in Kentucky. The museum came with samples of 3 different cocktails and had some really cool virtual bartenders whose cocktail preferences we tend to agree with.
I like to drink with vodka when you can use bourbon.
After that, it was back to the French Quarter to visit the iconic Jackson Square. Somebody please tell me if that guy is famous. Because he was jumping all over the benches, doing all kinds of dancing. It was impressive. So hopefully he is famous because he's got talent. Also commands a lot of attention.
One other thing I'll say about New Orleans is honestly, the people here are great. They're so nice, so welcoming. They love for you to be here, and they love sharing their culture with you. And I think of all the places across the whole country that we've ever come to, places like this are just second to none.
They're a whole vibe. They're so kind and fun. Oh, I love New Orleans.
Don't come to New Orleans without talking to the people.
Yes.
Because the people are where the culture is here in the city.
And no offense, the French Quarter is absolutely amazing. You have to go to the French Quarter. But like, venture just outside of the French Quarter and you meet some of the most fun people.
For dinner, we went to one of the best crawfish restaurants in New Orleans, Pralines Seafood. The staff were so nice and incredibly helpful for teaching a newbie crawfish eater like me how to eat these delicious mud bugs. They showed us how to open them and suck out the heads, which was super weird but really cool. They've actually won a competition because their flavors are so good.
I could seriously bathe in a vat of that barbecue shrimp sauce. It is so good. Delicious. The verdict of your first thing of crawfish.
Oh my gosh. This makes me want to move to New Orleans just to eat food like this. It's so good.
Is that damage? The next morning, our sights were set on the French market, where there was a shop that we heard has some of the best pralines in all of New Orleans, Loretta's Praline Shop. I am so excited about this. So we have made it a mission to try all of the pralines in New Orleans, and this is one that's highly rated that we haven't tried yet. So we're at Loretta's down in the French Quarter at the big market down here. So here goes nothing. Oh yeah, that's good. So something that has surprised me is that all of these praline shops are so different. So this one is most similar to Bernard's pralines. It almost has this kind of rich, not smoky, but a deeper flavor, I think, than some of the other ones. Some are loaded with more pecans, so the kind of ratio is different. So honestly, you would be surprised by just how different the praline is depending on where you go. This one though is freaking delicious. This, however, is the real reason we're here, because we heard that these are freaking amazing, and they are basically praline stuffed beignets. I think this is the only place that does them, but it combines two beloved New Orleans dishes, and I'm sure is totally healthy for you. Cheers! Oh my god. These are mine. You're not getting any, Phil. I'm so sorry. The music has even gotten Phil dancing. In New Orleans, there's always a parade, and when you hear that parade music, you go check it out. You go track them down.
It's parade season apparently, which is basically from early January all the way through the beginning of the Easter season.
Can you tell we're out of breath? Because we've been trying to find out where the music is coming from, but we finally spotted it.
We're a couple blocks behind, so we're running to try to catch up.
Yeah. And this is our first time being here in Mardi Gras season, which we didn't realize was a whole season until this trip. And so that's been so fun, seeing all the decor out and everybody getting ready for Mardi Gras festivities that are over a month away. No trip to the French Quarter is complete without a venture down Bourbon Street. Early in the afternoon, the place was already starting to pick up, with lots of people and musicians out busking and hanging out, getting ready to celebrate on a Saturday night. After that, it was off to the Garden District to see a different side of NOLA. Rookie mistake. We made it on the wrong transit line. So we're going to see where this goes, and then we're going to hop on the right transit line that will take us to the Garden District, because this one's not taking us there.
slight detour, we hopped on the correct streetcar and made our way to the Garden District. We walked around the neighborhoods and ventured to Lafayette Cemeteries 1 and 2, which are above ground cemeteries constructed completely of mausoleums. It's really interesting if you're used to below ground cemeteries like we are in Kentucky. Of course, we are still in New Orleans, so even walking down the street, we passed a huge Mardi Gras party.
What did you say?
I was looking up the drink menu at a place that we're thinking about going to, and I told Phil that there's a perfect drink for him on the menu. It's called Uncle Butthead. I'm sure our nieces and nephews would love that.
Do you see the kind of treatment I get? Shame.
I'm sorry.
Shame. Honestly, though, it does sound pretty good, so.
A part of New Orleans food scene that we actually don't hear talked about very much is the fact that they have a ton of fine dining. We are not exactly fine dining people. We love to eat food, but we like a more casual setting. But we felt like we should go somewhere that was a nice sit-down restaurant that typically requires reservations just to get the experience. This place was a good place that was in the middle. It was casual enough for us, but still had really, really good food. Plus, Phil did order the Uncle Butthead drink at the recommendation of our waitress, and he absolutely loved it. After dinner, we raced across town to make it to a parade that we'd been hearing about all day, the Krewe of Chewbaccus parade. Yes, it is a Star Wars parade, but it also pays homage to a ton of different fandoms and honestly just all kinds of different groups across the city. It's amazing just how many people there were to participate in this massive parade that lasted several hours. It was such a blast, and we're so glad that our trip intersected with this parade. After the parade, we headed over one block to the classic Frenchmen Street, which is known for its impressive jazz history. We of course listened to a few jazz musicians, and a friendly reminder to tip your musicians on this street, especially if you choose to film them to bring some memories home with you. Because we visited in the week leading up to Super Bowl, there was a huge light show projection that we had to see in Jackson Square.
So I feel like we got the full New Orleans experience last night at this Star Wars parade, and I was up front for a little bit of it and got a couple of stickers from people in the parade. So this one, I don't know that it can be shown on YouTube, but let's just say that it is Chewbacca who may have the munchies. And this one also was hilarious when I looked at it because I was just not expecting it. It is a cat looking up with a scrunchie on its head. So this one is definitely gonna go on my water bottle. And this one I'm gonna keep and laugh hysterically at it because it's so funny. We strive to honor our sacred drunken Wookiee. New Orleans, man, what a vibe. What a vibe. I love it. I told Phil last night that in another life I was born in New Orleans.
You know we weren't going to end our trip without Loretta's Pralines for the road, and maybe something else as well.
I wish you could smell this. It's a crab stuffed beignet, which sounds amazing. So most of the time beignets are sweet, but occasionally they're savory, and I'm excited to dig into this one.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Here we go. Stop. It's like a seafood stew in a beignet. Okay, here is my hot take on beignets. The ones at Café du Monde are really good because they have this like yeasted flavor. The experience at Café du Monde is a must. It's so cool. The atmosphere is really fun. However, the texture of Loretta's beignets, it's like a croissant and a donut had a baby. It's so freaking delicious. I'm gonna be dreaming about these, and donuts aren't super my thing or like fritter kind of stuff, but these beignets I'm gonna be dreaming about for forever.
This is crazy good. Just a little spicy. The crab is just right. Man.
One of the things that I really appreciate and admire about New Orleans is just how resilient the city is. It's really gone through over the years all of these different like catastrophes, but yet the people still come together and like are able to carry on the joy and things that you see and you hear in the music and in the culture and in the art all over the city.
I think especially right now, we're just 3 weeks out from the horrible attack that happened on New Year's Day. We actually walked past the memorial several times. I think that the culture here, that community, that warmth, that resilience is just really inspiring. I wish there was more of that coming together in our society in general, and more of that kind of love and community and respect for one another and looking out for one another's best interests rather than othering other people. So I think that that's just something that we're taking away from this, especially just being so close removed from something so serious and tragic, to kind of walk away and say, we're taking some of those lessons of just caring for one another.
We hope you've enjoyed coming along with us to explore New Orleans and all that it has to offer, plus the great people and amazing culture to boot. We hope that you'll follow along with us, hit that like button, and subscribe to our channel for more like this. And we will see you next time. So that is definitely true here in, definitely true here.
Bacchanal? Or not Bacchanal? Chewbacca. Chewbaccus. Catch me not tripping over this.